we're in a new year now, and according to the article, we should be in a new mode of covering Trump. I don't know what the guy is talking about. Please explain to me. I
Well,
mean,
I think what it is that this, when we go back, when we think back about our careers, there was always a certain, not majesty, but a certain deference given to the office of the president. In other
right,
words, to call him a liar, to call him a racist was really, you had to do something really over the top.
right.
And especially, this is the first time we've confronted a president who lies so much. I mean, dealing with lies. I mean, that's most in our career, for example, a politician lied. He was corrected in the press, maybe, or on radio, or whatever. He never said it again. I mean, or he corrected it again. But Trump, just, like yesterday, I forget where the piece was, but he was in a press conference and a reporter fact checked him on the spot, and Trump just walked away. I mean, didn't say anything, didn't acknowledge it. So that's what this guy's talking about. What's your sense of that?
I mean, I still don't know what he's talking about. I mean, he's constantly called a liar. You turn on CNN, Chris Cuomo, Don Lemon, and others are constantly holding his feet to the fire, if not in person during a direct face-to-face interview with him. And they're constantly talking about how he lies about this, lies. They keep count on this stuff. If you go on to MSNBC, Lawrence O'Donnell, Rachel Maddow, and others, constantly call him out for these lies. They enumerate the lies. They go into great detail about what he's lying about. So I don't know what Boehlert of the Daily Kos is talking about in his article. I mean, everybody's calling Trump a liar all the time.
Right. But I mean, what's your sense of the coverage of him? Do you feel that, and again, I guess the Washington press is quite different than the normal mainstream media press. I mean, because what's your sense? You feel it's being covered correctly in your view?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, more and more of the articles now in the New York Times and the Washington Post, I notice, are, saying that Trump makes his claim without any evidence.
Right.
Trump has embraced a false conspiracy theory. They put those markers in their articles more and more now. So again, I don't know what this guy is talking about. I mean,
But I mean,
go ahead.
but hasn't that come about just because of the Ukraine? I mean, I think you're right in the sense that I think Ukraine scandal has.
Even before
You
Ukraine,
think
they were
before?
pretty intense on that, constantly criticizing him, constantly saying he was lying about something or misinformed about something, or, his mannerisms, his approach, it's beneath the dignity of the presidency. I mean,
Right.
that's been going on since he was elected.
So, I mean, you feel that when you look back at, let's say, the last 2 years, 3 years, I mean, you feel the press has been pretty good in its coverage, or what?
I think a lot of them, as you know, Kent, I've been a long life a liberal Democrat,
Right.
but the way that some of these Democrats are attacking him now, I mean, is really over the top. I mean, even on stuff that he's being at least somewhat sane or honest about. I mean, this is, as I've said before, this is a reversal of what the
Right.
Republicans were doing to Obama. I mean, he couldn't get up in the morning and tie his shoes properly, according to them, without them being on him, criticizing him about everything. Now the situation is reversed. So both sides are guilty, I
But
think,
see,
of
I don't think it's
going over the top. And even with Trump, where a lot of it's well-deserved, I
yeah,
don't think there's any lack of them pointing that out.
yeah. No, I hear you. I hear you.
I mean, how else, what more can they do? I mean, should they start every article saying that everything in the following article of Trump is a lie? I mean,
Right.
they point
Right.
it out as they go along.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
at times, again, I'm no Trump fan, Kent, but, we're talking about objective journalism.
Right.
And now it's become so much, these networks, it just become so on board with their own narrative that
Mhm.
objectivity is lost. I mean, you don't have to like Trump in order to give him a fair shake on some of these stories. But this
Mhm.
is a constant barrage against him because of political motivations, ideological bents on the part of reporters. And this is unfair, not just to Trump in some cases,
Right.
but constantly unfair to the public which has to listen to propagandists rather than objective
Well, how
reporters,
do you
which
feel
there
about,
used to be in
right,
our day, Kent.
right. Well, how do you feel about PBS? I mean, are they fair in their news hour or
A
whatever it is?
lot, a lot of the stuff is more balanced, but then again, you know, I think, they favor the liberal philosophy, and I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying that you don't see a lot of dissenting back and forth on PBS. So I think they've become also more politicized in the past 5 years or so.
But see, I think I would challenge you on this idea, this sense of balance, in the sense that I think, if Donald Trump feels that the world is flat or is arguing that, for example, there is climate change does not exist, I mean,
Yeah.
there's really no balance to that. I mean, in other words, if
No, I'm
90,
I'm not saying that you should say, well, maybe he's right because science, science shows
no,
is
but
true.
there's no need to balance. There's no balance. There's no balance. There's no other side, is what I'm
Well,
saying.
you go on any of the networks, and you're not getting any contrary. They're not putting on any nutcases saying that this is all a conspiracy, a plot by China, and all that. You don't hear those people on the air that are disputing the
Right.
reality of climate change. So I think they're in those cases where it's undoubtedly a fact. They're not bringing on nutcases to be contrary to it. So again, I think this whole article is largely overblown. I really don't know what this guy is talking about.
Right. All right, sir. Well, listen, thank you, and Happy New Year. And we'll talk tomorrow.
Yes.